The GeorgeNotFound and Katie Bug situation has just gotten a lot crazier. Let's get right into it. So I think we're finally at like the end of this whole thing, guys. It's just been a lot. But basically, since the last video I dropped on it, George said he was going to drop a response. He said, I will be doing a very serious stream later today. This post is just to make that clear. I'm gathering all the information and evidence to share. I have never and would never break someone's sexual boundaries or assault anyone. And then like it took a while for him to respond, and Katie actually dropped this saying, we are waiting. Well, whatever you can find. I also have screen recorded everything. I plan on using it to support my case if needed. Please share it on my behalf if you like, because we both know what happened. That's why I can sleep at night without scrambling for screenshots to try and twist. That's why you're scared, because me and every other creator know the truth, and you do too. That's something you have to live with. Yes, I was naive, but I have room to change, to grow up. 8 years exactly, and when I'm your age, I'll be 10 times the person you are, and you will always be the 27-year-old still acting like a child. I am not scared of you anymore. I've been waiting so long to say this, but you're a effing coward. Goodbye for now. And then she pulled up a lot of receipts right here. For now, goodbye. And I'll link this down below. I mean, I've already read this a lot of times. I've already seen a lot of other creators post about this. I'm gonna save you guys a lot of time and not read that, because you know that's already besides the point from what's been happening since then. Well, then George dropped his response in a live stream that a lot of people were not happy with. There was a lot of clips in it. Like, I watched the whole thing with some of my buddies, and I was like, man, what is he saying in some of this? Like, it was not the greatest response.
If I could go back and not do it, I wouldn't have. I wanted to do it in the moment, but then changed my mind later, which is completely valid. You're completely allowed to feel that way. But what isn't okay, and I think is just completely unfair, is to act as if I am the bad person in the scenario because you changed your mind later.
He finally made a better response, you know, and he dropped this on his channel called My Response, George Not Found Stream, 12 days ago. And yeah, in this one, he breaks down everything and more. Here is what George had to say. So George Not Found drops final response to sexual assault allegations. In the video, he addresses the age gap. So check this out. Okay, so here's a 1.5-minute clip that we're going to watch real quick of what George had to say about this.
Said, I wasn't aware at the time that she was 18. I mentioned that they had come from an official VidCon after party. They were drunk, and I made the assumption that, knowing how these events are run, that she was probably over the age of 21, as they wouldn't have been able to drink in there otherwise. Now, they actually said that they drank somewhere else briefly before showing up, and that makes more sense. It is irresponsible of me that I made this assumption, and going forward, I will make sure to explicitly ask for a person's age. And I'm sorry, Katie, that I did not do that.
Should have already been doing that, but okay.
I also brought up how when I was going back through the texts, I found a picture of one of them wearing a 21+ age wristband. And I showed this picture. Now, this is from a group chat that I was.
Yeah, he did show this. He did show this picture.
When I was making my video, and I figured it was relevant to why I was under the impression she wasn't 18. It is now mentioned that Katie wasn't actually the one that was wearing it, and it was just someone else's hand. So in these texts, they say, quote, loose ass 21+ wristband. We have a strat. Now, to explain what this strategy is for the people that haven't really been in a club environment or a place where you would get a wristband like this. Essentially, they give you this wristband to show that you are over 21 so that you can get drinks from the bar. These wristbands are made in a way so that once they're put on, they cannot be taken off without breaking it. And that's precisely why they're used, to prevent people from underage drinking. But clearly the security that gave the girls these bracelets didn't do a good enough job and didn't put it on tight enough. And this just shows that you can never be too careful and shouldn't make assumptions like I did. And I should have asked for her age.
I mean, it is a little bit of accountability finally, you know. It's just like, okay, yeah, I should not have. But no, it's like, George, you should definitely not have, dude. Like, you're famous, man. Like, you're big time out here. And it's like, whenever you have that much status, you gotta just double check every person you're talking to, especially if you're gonna hang out with girls and stuff, you know what I mean? Especially if you're gonna be going to inviting people to parties and stuff. You gotta make sure they're old enough for sure, man. Like, I'm not taking that risk. Like, even right now, I wouldn't take that risk. But like, being at the level they're at, oh hell nah, man. Like, you gotta be really cautious with every single move you make. And you know, that's the thing I didn't like about his first response. He says they're really good at doing all this and that. He's always the type of person to be aware and cautious, but he clearly got caught slipping in this situation and made a big mistake here. You know, with this response, yeah, people were definitely like, okay, you know, that there we go, that's something, you know, the 21 wristband. He had took some accountability, and I'll give him that. However, Katie then drops a response, and she goes, and this is probably like her final response, possibly. She says, if what Katie Bug said is true, this could actually mean George Not Found essayed her, but why not bring this up to begin with? Why the F would you even let the thought wander in people's heads? Either you're an idiot or I don't know. She spoke out 2 times and never said this. And yeah, that's what 9 takes drop. Roll the video.
For people saying take legal action, do you know the odds of winning an assault case, like, there's a reason. 1 out of 3 girls are assaulted in their lives. Okay, there's a reason so many of them don't come out about this. The system, you would like to believe that it's always for you. The amount of fucking injustice that happens with our system is insane. It's absolutely insane. And you sit here and see someone come out about their story, and your immediate thing is, well, take it up with the law. Like, that will serve any justice. So fuck you.
Okay, and this first clip right here is not the tweet that Nine Takes had to say, but that's just like her first kind of like little thing that I wanted to mention in her stream. Basically, she's just talking about how she would probably not win this in court, and she's probably right. And I understand there's a lot of people that get SA'd and there's just not enough proof to it, because a lot of times it happens in, you know, in like a place where there's nothing being recorded or whatever. There's not enough proof, and it's just he said, she said. So that's not wrong. But this next clip is what has a lot of people rallied up. They're saying that she's changing her story a lot. Roll it.
It is fucking sexual assault, okay? I'm not gonna apologize, say that it isn't sexual assault, that I'm not a sexual assault victim. The touching that he has admitted to many times, this touching that he admitted to not asking or getting my consent before he did, he felt up my on a couch with other people there. He stuck his hand up my shirt, under my bra, and felt up, fondled, whatever you want to say. He felt up my unwanted sexual touch is literally in the definition of sexual assault. It's fucking sexual assault, and I'm never gonna apologize.
Yeah, and you know, that's a pretty big detail. Like, some people are saying that, yeah, this was inferred before, but like obviously not a lot of people knew about this, or I mean, I didn't even really like see, and I was watching, like, you know, I've watched everything about this thing, so I'm a little surprised that she's now saying this too, because that's definitely a pretty bad thing right there if George had done that right there. However, you know, we have not seen any response about that. I'm sure George is just going to deny that part right there. All right, so pretty much my final thoughts on this entire situation right here is simple. It's obvious that we can, you know, point out the things that are facts, like George, you know, did touch her. Is it creepy? Is it weird? Well, when you hear the details that they were cuddling for like about an hour or so, and then he slowly does this, I mean, obviously you should just ask somebody. Definitely, you should just be like, hey, you know, I mean, that's just the best way to do it, honestly. Now, the detail when, you know, he's just really feeling up on her that we just recently heard, that part also changes a lot more, because that's definitely a lot more to the extreme. Like, it's like, okay. However, we're hearing so many different sides and stories to this. I don't even know, you know, how much is true. The 21 wristband thing, we know that's not 100% anymore, because it was actually a picture of her friend. George thought it was her, but still, like, that kind of goes both ways. His first response was kind of bad in my opinion, but he did show, you know, some good details in there, but people did not like it, and yeah, honestly, it wasn't that good. And then the second response he had was actually a lot better. You know, like I said, the accountability, he admitted a lot of things that he did wrong, the mistakes, where he's got to learn from this. However, does that justify everything that's happened? Well, we don't know everything that's happened. We don't know how true some things are, which is what makes this so hard. But yeah, that is going to be the video. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you believe is in the right? Who do you believe is in the wrong? Do you agree with Katie's takes on everything, or do you agree with George that it's not fair to judge him off of somebody else having regrets down their line, despite how bad that might sound? And that wasn't his first response. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Like we always say, Empire out.